Greetings, here is a sanctuary, and welcome to Ruin. BlizzCon has come and gone. I was hoping to put up a video this week talking about some changes I liked in Diablo 3 that were an improvement to its predecessor. Instead, we're going to talk about the new mobile announcement, and why I'm actually glad the true installment for the next Diablo game was not announced this year. Now, before I dive into this, I do need to disclose something. I have this posted in my channel description, but I am an employee of Blizzard Entertainment, but this is not an official channel of Blizzard. The views and opinions stated on this channel are my own. I thought it was important to make this statement, especially in this video, so you have a better understanding of my perspective. Or you can think I'm a corporate shill and move along. That's fine too. I've known about this project for about 6 months now. As a Diablo fan, my reaction was essentially the same as everyone else's. Oh, Diablo Mobile. I don't really play games on my phone. And here I am 6 months later, and yeah, I really don't play mobile games. Will I still try this out? Sure, this franchise is a huge part of my life, and realistically, I'll have to see if it has the staying power to keep me logging back in. My biggest worry, as I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, how are they going to monetize this? This was asked in the QA, and the official word was essentially, it wasn't decided yet. I'm not a fool. I'm about 98% sure there will be microtransactions in this game, but what will they be? If it's similar to the cosmetics in Diablo 3 that you unlock, pets, wings, banners, portraits, some cosmetics to make your class abilities look cool and different, that'd be nice. I'd be fine with that. If it were to do some Overwatch kind of spin and throw some voice lines and a bunch of random stuff I don't care about to proliferate the items so they can stuff them into a loot box, that'd be a bit annoying, but I could still deal with it. But that's not what we're all scared of. I don't want to be forced to pay $100+ to be able to compete with another player. Mobile games are notorious for blocking progress with paywalls. Some of them do this by making you choose between time or money. Do you want to wait 76 hours to finish upgrading this? Or do you want to pay us $2.99 to upgrade it right now? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I'm really not trying to play a game that'll have me buying loot boxes for $4.99 and pray to the RNG gods that I get the legendary grandfather sword that I've been looking for, and not another blue-named cocksheath of quickness. There are a few things the community is worried about that I know are non-issues. The development and publishing of this game is not impeding on any other unannounced project in any way. After Diablo Immortal's launches, the current team will mostly stay. It's been publicly announced that they're going to be continuing developing the game post-launch, so if it does well, the members of the team will stay and it will likely grow. Other unannounced projects will continue development and will be announced when Blizzard is ready. Speaking of announcements, I said at the beginning of this video, I'm glad they didn't announce the next true installment of Diablo. I'm anxiously waiting for the stage to be set for a new game of the franchise to be added, but the announcement of Diablo 3 is burned deep within my mind. If you don't remember, close your eyes for a moment, if you will, and let me take you back 10 years ago, June 28th, 2008. The Blizzard Worldwide Invitational in Paris, France. Jay Wilson took the stage to set up the announcement for Diablo 3. Now, right off the bat, if you can't see what's wrong with this picture, the game was launched in 2012. I'm not sure what's the longest you've ever held an orgasm, but the launch of Diablo 3 gave me the worst case of blue balls in history. What happened next on the stage blew my fragile little mind. The demo of the game loaded up, and the barbarian took the stage. This wasn't any barbarian, though. Canonically, this was the barbarian from Diablo 2. He stomped and crushed his way through hordes of fodder with his two axes. He chopped, cleaved, and lacerated his foes. They showcased the abilities being moved onto the hotbar where the potions used to be. So instead of left click and right click, there was also 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 and 6 looked like the town portal and scrolls of Identify. He went on to equip new frost and lightning enchanted weapons to further demonstrate the new particle effects the elemental weapons had. You see a minor ruin and some throwing knives drop from various monsters as he moves through the dungeon. As they show the environments, they can be interacted with and destroyed. After clearing out a trapped chest that spawned some ghosts, he went on to show the new ladder climbing mechanic. The barbarian hopped down a sketchy looking wooden ladder and advanced down the hallway to meet our old friend Deckard Cain. A window pops up, and that gives you a close-up of the fully geared barbarian with his helmet removed, and Cain having a conversation as Jay explains how much more lore and story Diablo 3 will offer. Then he tells you that you can enlist the two guards standing next to Cain as your followers just by talking to them. This all comes to a head at the end of the hall, where a mini-boss battle happens. They showcase the barbarian's leaps and dashes that a player can use. A second player teleports into the game as they explain how important multiplayer is to Diablo 3, and they move on to the next area so they can show off the Witch Doctor. They show off the Witch Doctor casting Locust Swarm on his own minions to empower them with additional disease damage. The Barbarian and the Witch Doctor run along and encounter a trap, prompting a female Barbarian and a female Witch Doctor to come on the screen, showcasing the multiplayer of Diablo 3. Before he closes out, he says, "Let's see what a real fight looks like." At first, the fight seemed really standard, as some trees around them came to life and started fighting them. After dispatching them, they make it to a wall, a dead end, where the mighty Siegebreaker Assault Beast breaks through it. After the fight begins, they showcase the female Witch Doctor setting one of her pets on fire using her bomb, and gave it additional fire damage. Around half health, the Siegebreaker picks up the female Witch Doctor and slams her into the ground, killing her. The beast charges around for a bit before picking up the male Barbarian and biting his head off, leaving a blood-stained mouth on the Siegebreaker. The female Barbarian and the male Witch Doctor continue to fight and eventually slay the assault beast. After it dies, the beast turns into a pile of ember, rock, and ash and crumbles away. 4 fireballs go to separate corners of the screen, and a massive army of skeletons are summoned and surround our heroes, and the screen fades to black. Now we'll move forward a little bit. 2010, at BlizzCon, Chris Metzen took the stage. "We got some business to discuss. Diablo fans, where you at?" he calls out. He announced that they would be debuting the 5th and final class for Diablo 3. After a cutscene showing off the Demon Hunter, Chris Metzen returns to the stage and announces, "There is more." We are very pleased to announce. Are you ready for this? PvP Battle Arenas. And to illustrate, we have another video. Enjoy. At this point, anyone who's played Diablo 3 is thinking, "Wow, that sounds amazing. What game is this?" Anyone who followed the whole timeline knows a lot of these amazing ideas and concepts were gutted and left on the game development floor before release. In the description of this video, I'll leave a link to these events, as well as a full 2v2 PvP arena match between the developers. The runes that dropped on the ground that were supposed to be items that augmented your skills and changed the way they work. They were removed and the runes were tied into the level up process. The scrolls of identity were removed from the game completely. Magic and rare items were no longer needed to be identified. Legendary items could be identified with a right click. Throwing knives were removed from the game completely, and some skills ended up using them, like the Demon Hunter's knife throw. A close-up of Kanan the Barbarian to have a more engaging story, that was removed. The Witch Doctor, enchanting the pets with elements, that was moved to the skill system. The awesome kill animation from the Siegebreaker was completely cut from the game. After the game launched, they announced the PvP battle arenas were being worked on. A few months later, they announced they were cancelled. So, why the long stroll down memory lane? Diablo 3 went through a huge iterative process. The game that was announced and promised was not the game that was released. Since then, I want to point out Blizzard's track record, starting with Diablo 3, The Reaper of Souls. It was announced August 21st, 2013, then released March 25th, 2014. World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor was announced November 8th, 2013, and released November 13th, 2014. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft was announced March 22nd, 2013, and released March 11th, 2014. Overwatch was announced November 7th, 2014, and released May 24th, 2016. World of Warcraft, Legion was announced August 6th, 2015, and released August 30th, 2016. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth was announced November 3rd, 2017, and released August 14th, 2018. StarCraft Remastered was announced March 26th, 2017, and released July 30th, 2017. The outlier here being Overwatch, having gone through some huge changes in its alpha and its beta stages. Lately, if a game is announced, it's about a year away from a release. Diablo Immortal was announced because it's closer to being completed than any other unannounced Diablo project. I would not be surprised to hear the official release date in the next few months for Diablo Immortal. If they announced the next big Diablo title and show off gameplay, it's likely that may not be the final product, especially if there was a huge outrage of the fanbase over something like the art style or lack of a specific class they felt absolutely had to be in the game from the fanbase. So, to those of you who are not happy with Diablo Immortal, speak with your wallet. I will give it a shot, but if I'm not happy with a specific aspect of the game, that is how I'll resolve the situation. If it's something I truly enjoy, I'll be more than happy to put my money into that product. Those of you who are marred by the fact that there was no announcement for a new PC title, hang tight. Once the forge is hot enough, they'll let us know what's cooking. Diablo Immortal isn't interfering in that. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I totally understand why anyone would be upset with this announcement, and I don't discourage the outrage, because that's how changes are made, but sadly in this case it will not make the next Diablo announcement come any faster. I'm going to continue to do comparisons between Diablo 2 and 3. Once Immortal's released, I'll do comparisons with the game mechanics on that as well, and hopefully someone on the Diablo team sees them and can help influence the game development for the better. Until next time, merry part and blessed be.